Okay, here I am. Let me actually sit on the chair. That was exciting. I suddenly disappeared. I turned invisible. Dee Dee, Ranger, hello. There we go. I looked over at OBS and I'm like, where'd I go? I was playing around with the ambient lighting feature that's in OBS that kind of like helps you blend in with some games by like using like doing an overlay based on the average color in your monitor. And I think that somehow turned me invisible. Yay. How's everyone doing? Good morning, afternoon, and evening. We had a long stream yesterday, but I'm still feeling pretty energized, so that's good. What'd I do this morning? I did some yoga. It was marked as like, easy beginner friendly. I'm not sure about that, but maybe that's just a me problem. Maybe that's just a me problem, And otherwise, it's just potato mode. I finally got Blue Archive installed and up and running. Yes, we do have Pop Team Epic tonight. The watch along, same as usual. And that'll be the end of season 1. I'm trying to think if we want to go back to Prince of Tennis right after or try another short series. Kind of feel like going back to Prince of Tennis. But I'll let the regulars chip in their opinion. We'll do like a little poll at the end of Pop Team Epic. I'm like, we need comedy to refresh our palate after the very, very serious stuff that is middle school tennis. I was telling Iduna about how everyone got really into Prince of Tennis, and she's like, you know what you need to do, Dee Dee? You need to make like a keychain of you and the Moonbeams as like a tennis team now. I'm like, oh, that would actually be hilarious. All the Moonbeams with like Ryoma's cap. That'd be cute, right? I'ma have to think about it. Would have to actually commission someone probably properly. Like, to do that properly, to get art for it. Because, I mean, for a lot of stuff, like my very quick, rough, cursed doodles are great. But for something where we're trying to make, like, a reference, I feel like getting an actual artist to do it would be nice. For sure, for sure. I've been working on doodles of like moonbeams and stuff. Bow bow! I've got a few different designs in mind. I'm just trying to solidify it. Like in my 3.0, I guess, like my upcoming one where I have the toggable moonbeam / cat. They have a bow on their head, but like, gender neutral. I'm also looking at like, having a bow tie instead. So if you are a guy and you want to have the bow on your head, that's fine. If you're a girl and you want to have the bow tie, that's fine. If you're a boy and you want the bow tie, that's fine. Your whole book series that you were writing. Oh, gosh. Everyone's got like a novel they're writing or tried to write at some point. My high school English teacher had a great saying that I loved to use for everything is the only reason anything ever gets published is because deadlines and editors exist. And I'm like, yeah, that's about right. Because if you're either you're a creative type or a perfectionist type and if you're never satisfied with what you write, you could just constantly keep revising stuff, and the only thing that makes you finally go, okay, this is good enough, is a deadline. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. Which is why it's like, even if I don't always stick to deadlines, so when I have a deadline for my creative streams, it makes it much easier to like sit down and focus on it instead of being like, oh, I'll do this eventually. Yeah, there's always going to be something that makes you delay eventually. 150 pages in a word processor would be like 300 book pages. You want to write One Piece? Man. I wonder how long One Piece would actually be if you turned it all into text instead of it being a manga. Like if it was a novelization. Because I mean, there are some chapters where it's just Luffy punching the living daylights out of someone with like very minimal dialogue besides like gobu gobu no, and like stuff like that. So if you take that stuff out, because that's not usually in, well, sometimes in light novels they have the attack names, but everything's described in paragraphs and words. I'm like, I can't tell if that would shorten the length of One Piece or extend it. It would depend, I guess, on how descriptive the writing is. Related to long-running stuff, very excited about the Hunter x Hunter collab happening. Unfortunately, it used to be they would always give free units for collabs, but now they've started adding a collab banner. So we're like, cool, we're getting Gon and Killua. Are they the freebies or are they the gotcha? I mean, just the idea that they're in the game is fun, but we will have to see. You didn't get your lucky potion. You didn't apply it. The luck left you. Oh no. Literally, everyone who has been getting the 4-leaf clover potion and then immediately using that luck to pull in gacha have been getting crazy pulls. Iduna told me, she was like, oh yeah, like I got fine in. I'm like, that's awesome. And then she messages me yesterday. She's like, actually, I was counting my pity. I don't know how I managed to be so out of it, but apparently I rolled two of him in 110 pull. I'm like, what? How did you not notice that? It's like, I don't know, I must have been exhausted. I'm like, exhausted or high or something, I don't know. she saw it go gold, and then she's like, no way. And she skipped, and then she saw him, and she's like, cool. And then she just did not process anything else. That is incredible. And then I told her about everyone having crazy good luck, and that, like, you know, with what they do now, we're up to, I think, 4 people who have gotten in, like, won their 50-50 early in gacha games after getting the 4-leaf clover potion. She's like, how can I buy more? I'm like, it's random. She's like, what if I gave you all of my money? I'm like, well... If, these potions, magic works better if you have a concentrated goal for it. So if you channel all those 4-leaf clover potions into, grinding for traits, it should work just as well as everyone getting their 4-star, or sorry, their 5-star, their SSR. You're gonna try that? Okay. Because, yeah, it's like, you know, it's manifesting and stuff like that. You gotta, like, activate it, basically. It's like because basically how the 4-leaf clover potion works, and now I'm giving away my secrets, is it doesn't, like, make you emit some aura of luck kind of thing, right? It's not like you suddenly... It's not like that Harry Potter, like, Felix, like, whatever, where it's like you drink it and, like, suddenly you're gonna have the best day of your life. No. It increases the odds of something happening. So, like, you can leave it to chance, but, like, you know, the increased odd of finding a penny on the ground would still be applicable compared to the increased odds of getting an SSR in a gacha game. Whereas if, like, you channel it into, like, I want this SSR, then the potions, the magic's like, okay, we're gonna focus on this. Watch next time I get it. I would laugh and also be terrified. Even as a magical being, sometimes it's scary if, like, you know, things go too well. It's like, oh, I don't like this. Because, you know, the magic comes with the disclaimer, because it's like, okay, like, you know, especially with the 4-leaf clover, it's like we're increasing the odds. It's not 100% guaranteed. So if for some reason hogged all 13 good luck potions, how lucky would I be? Well, first of all, you would probably get a massive stomach ache. So I think you've neutralized some of it that way. Because, I mean, you still gotta drink the potion. It's not enough just to have it. It'd be the same as drinking, you know, 13 bottles of water. Or, like, chugging 13 cups of tea. If you could tolerate that, probably it would significantly increase the odds of something happening, but, like, you know, with significant side effects because of how much, like, the strain you're putting your body through. Because, you know, it's like medicine. Too much of a good thing could be a poison. Because, yeah, I'm putting, like, you know, herbs and other stuff in here. So it's like, yeah, technically, like, if you have too much of it, it's like, yeah, it's not gonna go bad. So can I summon Sans? I don't know. Depends on the odds of summoning Sans. I I imagine it like luck potion influences fate in a way, and too much of it would cause super weird occurrences. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it too, because since it works best if you channel it in a certain way, it's like, where's all this energy gonna go kind of thing. So it's like, sure, maybe if you chuck 13 of these potions and you did like a 10 pull and an SSR, you would get like multiples in a single pull, but then like, did that use up all the energy? You essentially made your wish, but there's all this energy left over. Where's it gonna go? It depends how you view something, right? Because it's like, you have to be very specific with magic. Otherwise, things can go wrong. That's why the more specific a wish you have, like, it's the same. UMINEKO gets that right about the whole, like, you know, the greater the gamble, the stronger the magic will end up being. Like, the more specific you are when casting, the better the odds and stuff like that. Because it's like, okay, like say like you drink all these potions and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get some, I'm gonna work and I'm gonna go to work and I'm like gonna get some extra money kind of thing. And you're in your mind, you're thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna do a really good job with the clients and I'm gonna get really good commissions and that's gonna translate to a lot of money. But now there's too much luck in the universe. So on your way to work, you get hit by a bus. And you survive. And you win the lawsuit, and now you have all this money. But, so it's like, see? The universe, it's like, the potion increased your luck. You got all this money, but it wasn't in the way you wanted it to, or you thought it would. That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah. Can influence, like, the better you can channel that stuff, the more you decrease the odds of things going haywire. But if there's too much energy, then, well, where's it gonna go, right? That's why like love potions and stuff can be so tricky. That's why it's instant popularity, not a love potion. Instant popularity increases like charisma. Cause like with a love potion, if you don't have a specific target in mind, and even if you have a specific target in mind, it can go wrong. If you use a love potion and you're just like, I just want a girlfriend. You know those old Axe commercials where a dude's running for his life because there's like a stampede of women coming after him? Yeah, that's what happened. If you have a specific target for the love potion, could still turn into a stalking incident if it's too powerful. So as a rule, I don't do love potions. I'm like, I can increase your luck and increase your charisma. The rest is on you. Luck wouldn't change in the universe, it would mainly just take the luck from others. I mean, like I said, it's increasing the odds of something happening. So yeah, you're not entirely wrong, but it's like you're increasing the odds of this happening by decreasing the odds of other stuff happening. And that's how the luck ends up being increased. Yeah, I always, for the magic, like, I always prefer some kind of scientific-like reasoning applied to it, which is why I love, like, the magecraft system in Fate. Because it's like, real magic does exist, but they usually use magecraft because of the amount of energy and all of that stuff required to do actual magic. So it's like, do I have like an actual magic spell? Like, can I actually cast some spell? Yes. But you need the right tools and the right preparation. And it's not like, you know, one shot KO kind of thing. There was what I loved, there was a presenter on a Japanese what's the word I'm looking for? Japanese talk show. And like he was a physicist. And the question they were asking was about the magical girl transformations. And the bro calculated how much energy these girls would be giving off because of all the lights and stuff like that. So like same kind of thing here. It's like, sure, I can harness the, like, basically when I'm casting a spell, it's like, yeah, I'm harnessing heat and light and that energy to like cast a to cause like destruction. You can't really channel it into other stuff. Like, you could channel it into healing, but it's a more complex application because you're trying to turn heat and energy into something positive. Search for constant, so I imagine it'd be possible to say with magic. Correct. I based the magic in the Moonbeam world, basically on Fate's Day Night with like all the magecraft system and stuff. Because, you know, for example, Rin Tosaka's magic works because you channel all this magical energy into these gemstones that have a very specific purpose. And once that purpose is fulfilled, the magic energy is gone and the gem breaks. So that kind of stuff. So that's why it's like, you know, potions with very specific effects. And like, you know, very specific spells that do very specific things. Like, you know, cast a beam of light kind of thing. Or like create fire. You can do like create water and stuff like that, but that's not my forte. That is Iduna's forte. What servant do I think I would have? Oh. So servant is a term, yeah, from Fate's Day Night. It's basically, it's like your summon your familiar kind of thing. Yeah. It's hard for me to say for sure. I feel like it would either be an archer class, because as much as I love all the saber characters, I always have a really hard time getting them on their banners. I have a much better luck with archers and lancers. And then also, this was Iduna's idea. She's like, I could see you with a berserker. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. You know, it's like Ilya. Like, tiny sass potted this big hulking thing. I'm like, alright, fair enough. maybe I would get someone like Raiko Mama. You thought the exact same thing? I love how I am both a Cuffy streamer and everyone's like, I associate you with giant battle axes and stuff. I'm like, what is this contrast? Great minds, Iduna. Great minds. It's a balance? I suppose that's fair. Tedian mech suit. Oh my god. That would be fantastic. Not gremlin, but it's just silly to think. I gotcha. Oh god, now I have frickin' colors stuck in my head. Jibun wo sekai. Gremlin is something more like Gigi? Yeah. It's our girl. Now it's stuck in her head. You're welcome. Damn it, Diana. Teehee. I've done it again. Jibun wo sekai. Yeah. Flo is... No, yes, it was Flo, wasn't it, who did colors? Flo is just... They never miss. They're the ones who did, Go in Naruto, too. You know, fighting dreamers, na 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 na, fighting dreamers, da 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 da, fighting dreamers, da 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 da, odi 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 oh, just go my way, right here, right now, burn. Their Shippuden song, yeah, I mean they do so many anime songs. But I always think of Go first. I got to see Flo in concert once at an anime convention. That was fun. They got permission to cover Guren no Yumiya back because this was back when like Attack on Titan was in its heyday. That was fun. Yeah. They came up to the Otakuthon, which is the con in Montreal. Hang on. Gotta shrink myself a bit. And we'll move trot. There we go. And I don't have the sound set up yet. Use that transformation magic. There we go. Alright, you guys should have some stuff now. Some sound, rather. It's me with free time. How do I compete with that? Ugh. The real questions. Those seagulls do be yapping. Okay, that's more of a cat than a seagull. Oh, I can't get it today. Some days I could do it really well. Now I'm starting to sound like a chihuahua or something. Okay. Come on, Diana, lock in. There we go. That way my Odongo isn't blocking the screen. You're not a Chihuahua, you're Dee Dee, Bow Bow! Yeah! God. The application that I have to use at the apothecary for doing some transaction stuff and managing cases for the client, they make you pick a new password every 30 days, and it can't be, you know, any of, like, the past whatever passwords. So I ended up using a variant of Fuamoko, because I'm like, God damn it, how am I supposed to remember this if I have to change it every day? So I almost always use VTuber names. Because I'm like, well, there's like, you know, there's hundreds of them. Yes. Last time on UMINEKO, Rosa realized she left her child out in the garden because she told Rosa to just stay here and keep mumbling to herself, and, you know, the typhoons finally landed. And Rosa's like, oh! Maybe I should go get her. Rosa dashed from the entrance hall into the rose garden. When she opened the door, the wind that hit her was too strong to be called a light breeze, and told her the typhoon was approaching faster than she thought. Just as Kyrie had said, the wind was mixed with small droplets of rain. There was also a low rumble of thunder. It could start raining at any time. Rosa headed for the rose garden. She headed for the place where she had scolded Maria a short while ago. It was almost lunchtime. The children had been told to come to the mansion around lunchtime, so they were probably in the guest house, waiting to be called. Maybe. But we know Maria's not like the other kids. Even if Maria didn't come to them, they would surely think I took her to the mansion with me and wouldn't worry too much. After all, she had been with her mother, so there should have been no reason to worry, except Rosa is Rosa. I was here, and I abandoned my daughter to the worsening weather. Maria! Are you there? If you're there, answer me! Maria is, in fact, not like the other girls. Ugh. I was right. She was still standing stock still, exactly the same way she had been, in the place where I had scolded her. Held in her hand was the candy that I'd bought, given her, and then stepped on and crushed. With that grip in her hand, she stood there as the powerful winds whipped her hair about, tormenting her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Maria. Forgive Mama. Oh. Mama, welcome back. I waited a long time for you to come back. The scary witch pinched me, but I stayed strong, waiting for Mama to come back without crying. Maria, forgive your Mama. Forgive your Mama. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just possessed by a bad witch again. So I'm fine. I really like you, Mama. I love you. Oof. Right in the gut. Please forgive your Mama for losing to the bad witch. Rosa buried her face in Maria's small chest, crying and begging for forgiveness. And once again, those tears dripped down after who knows how many times. If only the brilliant sun had been shining on the two of them, all of their cares would have evaporated, and it might have felt like they could begin anew. However, what surrounded the two of them was the worsening weather. Sadly, there were only fierce winds with occasional thunder. The sound of Maria sniffling brought Rosa to her senses. If Maria stood exposed to the wind for too long, she'd probably catch a cold. Okay, Maria. Time to go back. It's almost time for lunch. Why don't you come back to the mansion with me? Won't go. Why not? Rosa thought she'd already received Maria's forgiveness, so she hadn't imagined Maria would refuse. But that expression on Maria's face didn't look like that of a child resisting her mother. It's the rose, isn't it? It's the goddamn rose. So Rosa couldn't understand why Maria wanted to stand still pointlessly as the weather grew even worse. Maria answered the question. It's Beatrice. She'll be here really soon. So I'm waiting. Maria? Rosa struggled to find words for a moment, then fell silent. They'd only just managed to make up after all. She chose the words carefully, trying to get Maria to come with her to the mansion without denying the witch outright. Beatrice is coming? Really? Then instead of waiting here, why don't we wait in the mansion? If you stay in this wind too long, you'll catch a cold. She'll come. Beatrice will come. And when she does, I'll give her candy. I'll do trick or treat. I'll give her a jack-o'-lantern marshmallow candy and say Happy Halloween. Maria pulled yet another sweet out of her handbag. Oohing. Rosa was bewildered. I didn't know what to do as Maria started being difficult again. At that time, there was a sudden blast of thunder. I mean, she's 9 years old. You can still pick her up and carry her away. Like, she would not be happy about it, but, you know. It was probably a sign. A sign that this island had been sealed off by the storm, detached from common sense and reality. So after this moment, all common sense would probably cease to apply. You forgot you had your speaker on? That was loud? Oh no! Hang on, I'll lower it just a smidge. The audio balance in this game sometimes isn't fantastic, so sometimes it gets much louder than other times. The wind blew even stronger, and amidst that blizzard of scattered rose petals, Rosa, unable to imagine that this was a scene from reality. Oh God, what are you gonna do, girl? What are you gonna do? It was probably, no, definitely fantastical. After all, that shadow of a person was... Try leaving the speaker connected and the stream notification comes through. Oh, nice. She got a more modern outfit. Beatrice! Maria dashed over to the shadow. Normally, Rosa would scold her daughter if she dashed over to someone who she hadn't seen before and didn't know. But Rosa forgot to do that and was unable to do anything but stand there, stunned. It's been quite some time. Have you been well? I've been well. Witches don't catch colds. Oh. Indeed, a witch can use curses to make people catch colds, but how foolish would it be if she caught one herself? From now on, you should take care not to catch something like a cold yourself. She patted Maria's head as she said this, smiling roguishly. Rosa couldn't have known the name of that woman who was happily spoiling Maria. However, Maria had called it out in the beginning when the woman appeared. So even though Rosa had never met her, even though the woman still hadn't introduced herself, Rosa was able to know her name. However, that name had a special meaning on Rokenjima and in the Ushiromiya family. There's no way something that stupid could be. Beatrice! Happy Halloween! Look at what we brought! I'll give you one too! Indeed, happy Halloween. Oh, is this for me? How truly adorable that a candy would be made out of this, the lonely light of a man lost in the darkness of purgatory, unable to go to heaven or hell. Right now, on this island that has been cut off both from the world of humans and the world of non-humans, there may be no more suitable sweet. Maria, what's wrong with that one? The witch noticed the sweet Maria was grasping. It was Maria's candy, which had been stomped on by Rosa until it reached this pitiful state. Ugh, got stepped on and smashed. Can you fix it, Bito? Maria didn't go so far as to say it was her mother who'd stepped on it. However, for some reason, when the witch saw that candy, she looked at Rosa and grinned. A chill went down Rosa's spine, as though the gaze was staring straight through her. It shall be easy. Give it to me. Ugh! Maria held the candy out gleefully. Rosa could do nothing but watch, stunned. How did this person plan to trick Maria, somehow undoing the fact that the candy had been pitifully trampled? Maria looked as though she believed it could be fixed good as new. Without real magic, there was no way such a thing could be possible. My, it is quite crushed, isn't it? Come, Maria, close your eyes and try to remember. Because it really was that wonderful a candy. The candy of your memories is always full and fluffy. So you try to remember as well. What kind of candy was it really? Along with those strange words spoken as though singing in improvised folk songs, the witch threw the sweet into the air. Maria was closing her eyes and remembering, just as the witch had told her to. What shape had that crushed candy really had? Therefore, only Rosa saw that scene. The sweet that had been thrown into the air burst into a golden color. No, that wasn't it. Those were golden butterflies. It scattered into several golden butterflies and then began to gather at the witch's hand, which was held up to the sky. And as she did this, unbelievably, it returned to its beautiful original form, no different from when it had been bought. Only Rosa and the witch witnessed that scene. Unable to comprehend what was occurring right before her, Rosa stood with her mouth hanging open, completely forgetting to shut it. I mean, understandable. You may now open your eyes. Take it. With this, your sweet has returned to normal. Oh! Beatrice is always incredible! Incredible! There was a stark contrast between Rosa's shock and Maria's innocent joy. Was that what the witch was laughing at? A smile floated to Beatrice's face, one different from the smile she'd shown Maria. Does my face seem familiar? If you stare so fixedly, you might burn a hole through it. I'm sorry. Those words triggered something very clearly in Rosa's mind. Rosa knew this face. She knew it from the portrait of the witch. But no, wait, could this mystery woman really be? Maria, I give you this in exchange for the sweets you gave me. A letter? The witch pulled a Western envelope from her pocket and gave it to Maria. However, when Maria made to open it, the witch stopped her. You must not. The time will soon come for you to open it. But until then, you absolutely must not. Take good care of it. That will be your invitation to the Golden Land. The Golden Land! So you'll finally take me there! Take it and treat it with care. You must not show it to anyone. Ugh. I'll keep that promise. You've always got to keep promises with witches. And this is for you. Huh? Me? She probably hadn't imagined the witch would speak to her, too. Rosa was bewildered by the second Western envelope which was thrust before her. She'd seen this type of envelope before. There could be no mistake. It was one of Kinzo's special envelopes, used when he wrote with his own hand and bearing the Ushinomiya family crest. It was sealed with red sealing wax. And furthermore, it had a mark that seemed to have been made by the head's ring. In other words, even without asking what was inside this letter, Rosa knew that this woman, who Maria had called Beatrice, was trusted enough to be placed in charge of a personal letter of the current Ushinomiya head. Magic! Hello, Kuro! It could have been any of the four siblings. However, the fact that I've met you here probably means that you were chosen by Kinzo's roulette. So take it. Then read its contents aloud while seated at the dinner table when all of the siblings are gathered. What did you say? Rosa looked back and forth several times between the witch's face and the envelope that had been handed to her. Interesting. So Rosa is taking Maria's role from the first chapter. Today was the family conference, and the biggest object of discussion would be the inheritance problem. So she had joined together with Ava and Rudolph, and they planned to force a certain condition on Klaus to try and extort several 100 million yen in cash out of him. In cash! It was as if the witch could see through all of that. What does she intend to announce when all the siblings are gathered? And with a personal envelope that no one but the Ushinomiya head can use. Maria, the weather is getting worse. Return to the guest house and wait for lunchtime. And Rosa, we will meet again later. Allow me to introduce myself again at that time. The witch turned her back to her, laughing. Then she began to head towards the mansion with an air of composure. Maria energetically called out and watched her go, then began to dash towards the guest house, leaving Rosa behind. As though she wanted to inform the other cousins of her fortunate meeting with the witch as soon as she could. At last, Rosa was left alone in the garden as the winds grew stronger. Unable to do anything but pray that what had happened was just a daydream. An auditory hallucination? I think not. Oh shit. She's actually meeting people this time. When the witch reached the entrance hall, Genji could be seen there. Genji welcomed the guest approaching from the entrance hall with a respectful bow. I have been waiting. Beatrice-sama. Interesting. It's been quite some time, Genji. You've gotten old. Well, ain't that frickin' rude? No matter how old it becomes, furniture carries out its work like furniture until the end. I remember how that man's wife used to be jealous of you. Is Kinzo doing well? I mean, well enough that he's crying for you like every second of the day. He is doing extremely well. The witch probably laughed because she knew Kinzo's own doctor had announced that Kinzo didn't have long to live. However, if anyone actually looked at Kinzo and noticed his vigor, which wasn't at all what you'd expect from someone nearing the end of his life, they might easily call that doing extremely well. Maybe that's what the witch was laughing at. Then, let us go and greet him. I look forward to hurling curses at each other after 30 years. As the witch grinned, she started walking, leaving Genji behind. Her gait was like that of a family member who knew the inside of the mansion well. Genji followed her in the manner of one who served her. A few paces behind, I assume. Also, ad break starting in about 45 seconds. So I am going to take a quick break, get up, get some water, all that good stuff. Because we are in the middle of another heat wave, and I mean, I'm inside. I don't feel it as much. But still. Alrighty. I will be right back. Time to get some juice. All of y'all get up, stretch, get some water yourself or another beverage, and we will be right back. clock's just ticking away in this game, huh? Tick, tick, tick. Ugh. Uno momento. Just getting settled in again. It is warm in here compared to the other rooms, but that's to be expected from all of like the monitors and the PC and everything. Woof. Because what is the temperature like outside? I saw we were having a heat wave, but I did check the specifics. Just like, I'm not going outside today. Ooh, feels like 39 Celsius. Eep! Yeah, that's hot. That is a little toasty. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Decrease. Going down a little tomorrow, but like only to like feels like 32. Whoa. Alrighty, back to it. At that time, Kyrie came out of the parlor. She'd probably gone out to fix her makeup or something. We've truly hit the summer temps, yep. Hi, Mogu. Hi, Jambola. Yeah, you know it's hot. I went to go refill my cup, and Mogu was like literally face first into the water bowl. And like most cats aren't like super. Got a consistent 18 here? God. I'm coming over. I'm coming over and I'm staying there. That sounds like a perfect temperature to me. Once we get over 28, I start being like, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Very cat-like behavior. I mean, I was never good with heat to begin with, but the medications I have to take decrease your heat resistance, so now it's even worse. And when she saw Genji following a witch, she was surprised, although her expression did not change. A guest for Kinzo had arrived, despite him being almost dead. And on the day of the family conference, when the fate of their inheritance was to be decided. And furthermore, this person was familiar enough with the Ushinomiya family household that Genji was following behind her. With humidity, you're at 36.7. God, when Canada is hotter than Florida, you know something's wrong. Yeesh. I managed to improve, what is it? The heat resistance of the apartment by like putting, up like curtains that have the UV, like the reflective backing and stuff like that for the summer. But it only does so much, you know? So it's like, yeah, it's 39 outdoors and it's like 27 indoors. 27 still not great. It's better than the 29 it was last summer before I had like we had the UV reflective stuff. Kitty immediately realized this person she had never met before was deeply important. Kyrie and the witch's eyes met. Realizing that it would be rude to pretend not to notice, she greeted the witch. It's a pleasure to meet you. You were Rudolph's second wife, yes? Correct. This is Kyrie-sama, Rudolph-sama's current wife. You were? Why are we talking in past tense? From this exchange, Kyrie realized that this was a guest of fairly high rank, even amidst the Ushinomiya family. And the fact that this was a guest of that level, coupled with her resemblance to the portrait in the entrance hall, made Kyrie's eyes instantly open wide. Eh? The portrait changed? Something about the phrase current wife sounds so passive aggressive. Oh, it is absolutely a snub. Pleased to meet you. I'm Kyrie. I wonder if this is our first meeting. If we have met before, I apologize for forgetting your name. So you intend to force me to state my name even though you already have a vague idea of the answer? Kyrie thought she'd give it a sociable and humble greeting. Her expression grew slightly cloudy at that openly oppressive response. At any rate, this did seem to be a person she could grow to like. But if Kyrie's guesses were correct, this witch probably held a vital key to what her own husband was most interested in. Something that couldn't help but influence tonight's family conference. So without shooting back a retort, Kyrie silently watched her go up the stairs to the second floor, with Genji following behind. What could possibly go wrong with Beatrice being here? So when someone tapped her shoulder from behind, she was so surprised she almost choked. It was Natsuhi. Kyrie-san? Why are you standing still in a place like this? Are you not feeling well? I'm sorry. I was just fascinated by the portrait of the witch for a bit. Oh, you mean the golden witch Beatrice. The one whose gold was supposedly necessary for the revived Ushinomiya family we see today. Quite a fantastical story, just what one might expect from Father. Yeah, it's all fantastical. Natsuhi spoke in a perfectly ordinary way. It was the sort of comment you'd expect from someone convinced that the thought of a witch existing was ridiculous, no more than another of Kinzo's ramblings. However, for some reason, that point of view didn't seem quite right to Kyrie now. Just a moment ago, she herself had seen the Golden Witch come in from the entrance hall and climb up the stairs. So Natsuhi's words made it feel as though someone was trying to deny the existence of that person. Or else make it seem like she was never there to begin with. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm getting a bit of a headache. I think I'll rest for a little while. Oh, is that so? Then I have some good headache medicine. I'll get it for you. The hallway in front of Kinzo's study was filled with the scent of sweet poison, peculiar to that green liquor. Ah, yes, absinthe. Genji, who was completely used to it, did not grimace. And the Golden Witch didn't grimace either. How long has he been in there since he left? How long has he been in there since he last left? I believe it has already been several years. Is he that desperate to turn me into a bird in a cage? How pitiful. By now, you're the bird in a cage. You're the ghost of this study, are you not? How pitiful that he is unable to recognize even that. Until he meets you again, he will probably become his research, even after literally becoming a ghost. Is in love or madness or delusion, and yet perhaps even those can form magical power when strong enough. You said, you sad magician. The witch grasped the doorknob to the study. When she did, there was a sound like that of flesh burning and splitting open. It was the sound of the doorknob literally burning the witch's hand. Beatrice-sama, what is this? A ward against magic? Is that person unable to get by without relying on something like this? I have heard that this door would cause you great pain, Beatrice-sama. Shall I open it? No, it's fine. If he wins, I will be a bird in a cage for all eternity. If he loses, only the life of a laughingstock will be left, the life of a pitiful magician who went mad with love and lost everything. Alrighty, Kinzo, and even I are nothing more than pieces laid out on the game board. All that is left is for the roulette to decide who wins and who loses. Until the roulette shows its result, there is no need for me and Kinzo to meet again. The witch looked at her hand, which was beginning to heal bit by bit, even though it had been horribly burned. Or perhaps this is why he has this ward here in the first place. Yes, perhaps even this is honorable in its own way. Right now, everything sits on top of Kinzo's game board. I like it, Kinzo. Allow me to enjoy my game with you. Allow me to enjoy the failure of the final gamble of the old magician who fell in love with me and threw away his entire life. And Kinzo's like, I feel like someone's talking shit about me. But I can't hear anything, even though she's right outside my door. Who is it? Excuse me? I have brought lunch. Enter. Excuse me. Shitsure shimasu. After receiving approval, Canon entered the VIP room, pushing the serving cart that carried lunch. The servants called this room the Witch's VIP room. That was because Kinzo strictly ordered that it always be kept clean so that it could be used at any time. Even so, guests would not be allowed into this room no matter who they were. That's why at some point, the witches had started calling it the VIP room, which was supposed to be set only to welcome the special person Kinzo waited for. The witch from that portrait. And today, Kanan realized that this was absolutely true. When he entered the room, the blonde witch was gazing out the window. Outside, the rain was no longer falling weakly. As she looked out at the beautiful rose garden which had been tended to over several days for today's sake, as she saw the winds and rain ravage it, was she struck by some sentimental feeling. Kanan was not able to tell anything more from her back, which faced him. "I will prepare the meal, Beatrice-sama." Kanan went out of his way to call out the witch's name, hoping that she would turn around. He wanted to know if the witch who tempted him and Shannon in the past had really appeared again. When he did, the witch whose name had been called laughed, her back still facing him. Holding back her voice, she laughed. Kanan was startled. It was almost as though she had read his mind. I knew that he had called out to her, hoping to make her turn around. "It smells good. It appears Klaus hired a good cook." "Yes, he is called Golda, and he was employed here recently. There is nothing better than being skilled at cooking. Delicious food completes 3 pillars of pleasure for living in the human world. It is the secret to preventing boredom after 1,000 years. Kanon and the witch's eyes met. Then she grinned. Without a doubt. Certainly. This was clearly the witch from that day, Beatrice. The witch that no one but he and Shannon could see in the past finally had a form and had arrived openly as a guest through the entrance hall. Beatrice. Sama. It's been a long time. Kanon the furniture. It has been quite some time. Kanan tried to remember to be polite to this guest for the time being. But the visit of this suspicious witch made dark clouds start to enshroud his heart, especially considering that today was the family conference. You appear to be uneasy about what I plan to do now that I have appeared. Am I right? Kanan didn't force an answer. The witch probably reads minds, so it's pointless to go to the trouble of saying it out loud. Of course, she could read even his inner resistance. So the witch giggled at Kanan's childish defiance. I came to fulfill my final promise with Kinzo. Your final promise with the master? I lent Kinzo a mountain of gold. When Kinzo gives that up, it will be returned to me with interest. I came to accept that interest tonight. I don't know what you're talking about. However, uncertainty began to gather in his heart. Whatever the witch had to say, couldn't it be anything good? There's no mistake. Whenever witches have something to say, it's never anything good. You are correct. However, like scissors, the potential of witches depends entirely on how they're used. So don't run with witches. Sometimes there are those like King Solomon who would succeed in great exploits. However, most who make use of us end up meeting a cruel fate, just like in fairy tales. But Kinzo is crafty. He has incorporated even my collection of the interest into his ceremony. Is he an absurdly powerful magician who can surpass even me? Or else a mere fool possessed by madness? Amusing. Truly, truly amusing. Kanan couldn't guess what the witch was muttering and laughing about. All he knew was that anything that made this witch laugh must have the exact opposite meaning for everyone else. Valid! And in the back of his mind, the horrifying words the witch had spat at him in the past began to resurface. What? Did you think I'd lend you my power and ask for nothing in exchange? I'll gladly assist a pair in love in exchange. I'll enjoy watching the cruel fates they'll eventually meet. I have never come across a better show. No, not over the course of 1,000 years. Well, this is, going swimmingly. Could it be that you... Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. The witch suddenly began to recite a bizarre poem. Ah, yeah. It's not Kinzo's hometown. It's Beatrice's hometown. It was something he remembered hearing. Could it be the witch's epitaph? There was no mistake. It was the epitaph that accompanied the portrait of the witch Kinzo had put on display. The relatives had guessed that it referred to the location of the hidden gold, but no one knew what it meant for sure. The witch suddenly began reciting that epitaph. Kanon, since you are furniture, I imagine you've heard about it from Kinzo. The day when everything will be returned to the Golden Land has come. Rejoice! The day when you will be freed from the shame of living as furniture has finally arrived. I believe you've wanted that for a long time. To furniture, which finds no value in its own existence, merely existing day to day, must be nothing but agony. To those with souls, this world is worth clinging to. For those without souls, find this world to be nothing but suffering. Complicated expressions flitted across Kanon's face. This was the day of release that Kanon had been looking forward to. However, The coming of this day had been mercilessly sudden, and for some reason, he didn't like the hateful tone used by this witch as she informed him of the coming of this long-awaited day of rest. Kanon couldn't even decide what emotion he should be feeling. Why do you not rejoice? Could you actually have some regrets left in the real world? As mere furniture, I have no regrets. You went to go do your morning routine, and? Oh, you're back. Okay, gotcha. I thought there was a story happening. Welcome back. I have no regrets because I am furniture. Sure. No regrets at all. The story is a bean now feeling clean and ready. We love a clean bean. You truly are a model specimen of furniture. How nice, how nice. However, it won't be any fun if you have no regrets at all. Are you saying regrets are how you find pleasure? That is correct. Most witches who live for 1,000 years get tired of life. In order to escape boredom, I adorn people's fates with fruit and brandy and cook them like cakes. I find humans dancing through oppressive fates inside an oven to be so entertaining. Okay? That's a little messed up. You see, I'm actually a tad famous in this regard. So much so that rare guests come from far away to see my skills at cooking. Perhaps this is something mere furniture cannot stand. Kanon couldn't understand what the witch was saying. However, he fully realized that this was a terrifying being who treated the fate of humans as a show, enjoying it whether some harm was enjoying it whenever some harm befell them. There we go. However, furniture has no soul, much less a fate. Furniture is fated to become wood chips. Pitiful furniture does nothing but serve until the day they're released from the real world. To furniture like that, the witch who had come to release them from everything was a being to be received with overflowing affection. Even though the day Kanon should have been waiting impatiently for had come, he was confused by his own inability to accept it easily. Why was it? The face of Shannon, the person he loved as a sister, rose to his mind, and for some reason, Jessica's face did too. Kanon bit his lower lip hard enough that it hurt. Thinking about Jessica like that was something furniture must never do. Even though he thought he'd known that, even though he'd complained about Shauna's relationship, why was it that Jessica rose into his mind at a time like this? He felt a little shameful at his own naivete. And to forget about Jessica, he turned his thoughts to Shannon. Shannon is also furniture. She has no reason not to rejoice at the coming of the day when all will return to nothingness. But Shannon, through her relationship with George, had experienced an emotion forbidden to furniture. Even though she isn't qualified to be bonded with him, she's still trapped in that dream she isn't allowed to have. Will Shannon be able to joyfully accept this development? No, she won't. Shannon still has lingering regrets. Those will probably become a great source of pain and torture for her. And those lingering regrets were planted by none other than this witch. Why? Because that would be more interesting, nothing more. This day, that Shannon should have been waiting impatiently for, will probably be a harsh burden for her, giving her emotions that she must never experience. I thank you for granting me, us, furniture, the day of our release. And I hate you for making this day so difficult for Shannon to accept. I wanted to make you suffer from your regrets as well, just like Shannon. However, you continue to live like furniture with foolish honesty, never getting ensnared by me. And yet, it seemed you love Shannon a little too dearly, right? Shannon's regrets are now your regrets. Will those feelings transform into hatred for me? He's like, ah, fuck. If you wish to kill me, give it a try. As Kinzo's furniture, you should have at least that much power, right? However, if you kill me, then the day of rest for furniture will not come for all eternity. Could you bear to live with that? Are you truly capable of resisting when I try to release you? Kneel. What? Kneel and kiss my shoes. Otherwise, I will leave this place. I'll go back and never show myself again. Okay, you dominatrix. Jesus. Someone needs to throw this one out. Into the garbage he goes. So, Kanon, do you think you could bear to live like that? God. What a messed up lady. If the door to the Golden Land is opened, your hard life as furniture will end. If you desire, I can even give you life as a human. After all, you will be after that, you will be on the same level as Jessica. Surely you want to experience the taste of love? There's no point trying to hide it. After seeing Shannon indulging in the sea of sweet love, you grew jealous. You are sorely tempted to know the taste of love. Stop it! Stop it! Are you trying to ensnare me again? Yes, I won't be reduced to a toy for your amusement. Oh? Then I will be satisfied with Shannon alone. After all, you aren't the only one who was implanted with the seed. Even fruiting plants sometimes fail to bear fruit after all. The one who obtains the key must then travel to the Golden Land in accordance with these rules. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. The witch recited the epitaph again. It was so sudden and diverged so strongly from the current topic. However, that challenging smile made it seem almost as though she was using that epitaph as a threat against Canon. Do you not understand? For the ceremony of the epitaph to succeed, at the second twilight, 2 who are close must be offered as sacrifices. It could be any 2 who are close. A husband and wife. Or even a pair of lovers. Thanks, Aiden. According to the rules of the ceremony, who will be selected is up to me to decide on a whim. Yay. Don't you think there could be no more fitting sacrifice for the second twilight than Shannon as she is now? You crazy. You dirty. Canon realized something. Until today, he'd thought he'd given up on everything else and lived as furniture, acting like furniture. But in reality, that wasn't true. He loved Shannon too dearly. Therefore, when Shannon was in pain, Canon shared in that. If only Shannon had continued to live as furniture. Indifferently like Canon, without any regrets in this world, he wouldn't have to be in so much pain. Or, you embraced being human. You would have had a girlfriend for a while. That would have been probably a nice life. The witch planned to toy with Shannon, who had known the taste of love. No, whom she had taught the taste of love as she killed her. She wouldn't be welcomed into the Golden Land and granted a compassionate release. Instead, if the witch had her way, she'd be used as a sacrifice, subjected to the utmost of torture and pain, and forcibly turned into a human foundation for this evil ceremony. And this witch would probably make Shannon meet this horrible fate for no other reason than the fact it was amusing to her. Furthermore, she was threatening to do so she could make Canon, who had never submitted to the witch, finally give in. was that simple. Are things really always that simple? I don't know about that. In the end, though, he had tried to resist the witch and avoid pleasing her. He had only made things more amusing for her. Yeah, you can never outwit someone who's lived thousands of years. After all, he was furniture. No, a toy. They were nothing but toys meant only to distract her from boredom. Damn. What will you do, Kanon? If we kneel, I might refrain from choosing Shannon as sacrifice, see? I've always wanted to make a toy like you surrender someday. Without even a fragment of elegance, the witch sneered at Kanon, and laughed indecently. That's right, she'd predicted Kanon's submission before he'd even made that decision himself. Kanon chose to get down on both his knees in front of the witch. It didn't matter what happened to himself. However, the one thing he couldn't bear to see was Shannon, who had given him his only reason to live during his days as furniture, being toyed with like this. That was why kissing the shoes of the witch was an easy oath for Kanon to make. When his quivering lips actually touched the witch's shoe, she kicked him. Oh, never mind. Beatrice let a look of ecstasy rise to her face, then laughed with a voice filled to bursting. At that moment, the witch, who had grown bored of a life after 1,000 years, was completely filled with the evil emotion that she lived for. Great. Well then. That sure was a thing. We went from Danganronpa doing the whole kiss my shoes thing to UMINEKO. When lunch ended, the relatives moved to the parlor. Rosa had brought a high-class brand of black tea from a famous store in Ginza. That had been served, and the parlor was filled with a pleasant aroma. Since the children were there too, the adults tried to interact like normal relatives on the surface, talking peacefully about recent events and how their children were growing up. It had started raining. So the children couldn't do anything but sit here like this, watching TV, unable to go outside. Kind of crazy they even have TV. Considering this is 1986. Like, satellite television would have been in its infancy. So I guess if there was like a transmission tower on like one of the bigger, more populated islands nearby, it would be possible. Maria was apparently a TV kid, and she kept watching a boring daytime program without getting bored, giggling all by herself. Well, yeah, I mean, like her mother interacts with her. At first, Badler joined in, seeming to deepen his relationship with Maria. But he had gotten up early that morning and was gradually hit by a wave of drowsiness. Ugh. Oh, that's a big yawn. Did you get up really early this morning? Well, something like that. Not all the tension's gone. I'm getting really sleepy while listening to the sound of the rain. Tension? Huh. You call freaking out like that tension? At least it is for me. Badler gave another great yawn and slowly lay down on the sofa. He really did look tired. George and the others had tried talking to him, thinking it was a sign of boredom, but when they realized he really was sleepy, they decided to let him be. My. They say that if you lie down right after eating, it'll become a mackerel. What will? Huh? Stop kidding around. Go to Sunset, we'd be having calf steak tonight. Oh, the dinner would become mackerel. Okay, I was like... He's gonna turn into a fish? His stomach's gonna turn into a fish? Like... Then make it mackerel steak. Kumasawa-san. He looks pretty tired. Could you get him a blanket? Oh, here you go. Kumasawa brought a blanket over from the shelf. The large parlor wasn't cold, but the air had gotten a little chilly. So when Badler took the blanket, he immediately wrapped himself up in it like a turtle. You really were sleepy. When would you like to wake up? I'll wake you. I can't say I've got any particular requests. You can wake me up if you need something from me. And if you don't, just let me sleep forever. Night. Butler's sleeping? A nap? Nap? Ooh, I'll do it too! Hey, Maria, Butler's sleepy, so you gotta leave him alone. Kumasawa-san, could you give us another blanket? It was doubtful whether Maria really wanted to take a nap. She probably saw Badler wrapped up in a blanket and wanted to do the same. When she received a blanket from Kurosawa-san, she joyfully wrapped herself up in it and set up camp in front of the TV. Thank you for the care package! Sheesh. And just when we finally gathered all the cousins together after 6 years, come on, leave them alone. They can't... Not everyone can fight the sleepiness. This guy doesn't have a clue that he's the main guest of this family conference, does he? No, that would be Beatrice. I can still hear you. We took it easy eating lunch, and there's even a typhoon raining outside now. Since I've got nothing to do, that means it isn't my turn yet. I wonder about that. If you have a passive attitude like that and never do anything unless something else happens, your life will be pretty boring, right? No, that's not what I mean. How should I put it? At times like this, I'd like to think about it this way. It isn't my turn. If this were a play, it would it be my turn to go on stage. So the best thing to do is stay in the wings of the stage. Oh, you're always the main character of your own life, right? Why are you acting like you're in a supporting role? You gotta move forward by yourself and get up on the stage. That's not what I mean. I'm trying to say it's not my turn yet. Sorry, I'm sleepy. And my mind's a mess. Oh! He's talking about the game he's playing with Beatrice. It's not his turn to make a move yet. Sorry, give me a break. Huh, no kidding. You're so sleepy you're spouting nonsense. Let's leave him be for now. Hey, I can't let him get away with saying crap like that. You're always the main character in your own life. I've got serious issues with what Battler Kun is saying. He's just half asleep. Don't take him too seriously. It's just that lack of guts. You know, not wanting to go on stage just because you think you can't be the main character. Something about it just pisses me off. With distant eyes, Jessica gazed out the window at the gray rose garden obscured by the rain. When she put her forehead up against the glass, the pleasant, cool sensation seemed to chase away memories she was trying to forget. Also, ad break in 50 seconds, so I'm gonna get up and stretch at that point. Maybe go sit in front of the AC for a couple minutes. So it just wasn't your turn yet. Is that it? Then, just when will you get up on the stage? In that case, who the heck is the main character on this stage? Who indeed? Dane, it's like you think you can do whatever you want. What the hell is all this? It's all screwed up. I was merely amused that your reason for denying me was based on whether there were 18 or 19 people. Crazy. Alright, be right back. It's break time. Get up, stretch, get some water, go to the bathroom, and we shall be right back. Whee! Wah! Hello! I am back. I did indeed just go sit in front of the AC with my phone and played like a little bit of like fake Grand Order. It's the simple joys in life, right? I just tried chasing my opening move. No more. Your greatest basis for denying me is simply that I wasn't laid out as a piece on the game board. So, all I have to do is start by focusing on the queen, like this. Is it opening the road for you, the queen, on your first turn, one of the classic moves in chess? Quit playing around! You're not spinning the chessboard like you're supposed to. There's no way I can accept something like this, right? A witch came in walking right through the entrance hall, you say? Don't mess with me. What's this? In the last game, I gave you incredible freedom in making your moves, correct? This time, all I'm doing is moving my piece in response to your moves. She's like, he's so picky. God. Oh, you're already giving up right at the start? Tisk, 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 tisk. Bastard. I guess he doesn't like the twist with Kanon. Don't mess with me. Like hell I'd give in. Great move. Go ahead and just move however you like. Okay, so your turn's far from over, is it? Move however you want. Form a huge battle formation while you still can. I'll definitely withstand you. I'll definitely corner you. Come at me as best you can. I don't want you to have any excuses. He's really letting her have it. You aren't even close to making me accept something like a witch. That's right. Just now, it looked like Maria's candy was fixed with magic, but you might have actually had another one of the same candy hidden in your pocket. I mean, that is technically how sleight of hand stuff works, but... And switch them with that little show, making it only look like you fixed it with magic. Yeah, that's right. That has to be it. It's useless. It's all useless. Oh? Rosa saw the moment when the candy split into butterflies, correct? Who cares about that? That was a hallucination or a trick, or maybe she just saw it wrong. Tried so hard. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. That isn't that big a problem. So you throw out the part you can't explain as trivial. I see. Is that your move in response to mine? You've dug your own grave. Who should owe me a battler? I wish they would put her laugh at the same time so I wouldn't awkwardly pause and then have to start laughing. It sounds unnatural. It still isn't your turn yet. Allow me to make my move for a little longer. It has barely begun. The turn of the witch. Ooh! So that's why this chapter is called that, huh? Naruhodo ne. When they started hearing Battler's snores, the relatives went their separate ways, leaving the parlor and letting Battler sleep in silence. Well, that's nice of them. I would have half expected them to wake him up and be like, "What are you doing sleeping? That's unsightly." Even though it had been lively in the parlor with so many people gathered there. When all of them were scattered at once and were swallowed up by the rain, it created an eerie silence. No sound. Oh, sorry. Were swallowed up by the vast mansion, it created an eerie silence with no sound except that of the rain. Nope. I haven't met a person like that even once. A Neki? I haven't met them. Ominous? Kirie-san, is that true? Excuse me. Even I only greeted her briefly when she came into the entrance hall. She looked like she was a bit over 20. I told her my name, but she didn't tell me hers. She said she was being guided by Genki-san, and I saw her go up to the second floor. So it'd probably be faster to find Genji and ask him directly. Still, what a strange turn. The mystery woman had spoken to Kirie. Without naming herself, she'd sneered that Kirie should have had a vague idea as to her identity. That brought someone to mind. And then there was her look-alike. The witch in the portrait. Yeah, the painting changed. That's weird. Was this person trying to say that she was the witch of the portrait herself? I realized she was probably laughing at me for that reason. Even though it was our first meeting, she spoke as though she knew, I'm your second wife. Aneki? You really don't know anyone like that. You talk too much. I've never seen a blonde woman like that go in or out of this mansion. That kind of thing doesn't matter. The problem is what happens if the woman starts calling herself Beatrice. If she starts calling herself the manager of father's assets. Or maybe she plans to call herself his mistress's daughter and demand that she get a share of the inheritance. Either way, we've had one heck of a joker slipped into the deck. Did Nissan bring her here? Or did father? This is bad. We thought we could manage something if we could corner Aniki in our talks. But this takes us back to square one. I don't know what kind of schemes you've been making when I'm not around, dear. But it looks like we've been given a little time to form a counter-strategy. Yeah, better to have some time to prepare than to have that blonde-haired Nei-chan suddenly appear at the dinner table and scare the shit out of us. Until we know why she's appeared, there's a limit to the kind of counters we can make. What could she be after? Isn't it obvious? She's going to claim that she's the rightful heir to father's inheritance. Father is still captivated by Beatrice. If he had a daughter with her, you can bet that he'd want to leave all his fortune to her. She might even thrust some strange will in front of us. If we take it to court, we could probably claim a quarter of a half of it. But it'll probably be impossible to divvy out the inheritance until that's settled. We can't have that. I can't, and neither can you, Rudolph. And the same goes for Rosa, right? Each one of us needs to gather money quickly for our own reasons. It's our biggest weak point. So, what are they after? Kirie? Can you guess? This is all news to me, but it sounds like we're starting from the premise that we've got an urgent need to collect money, right? Kirie-san? In a man's business, you sometimes need funding when you're on the offensive. Please understand that. What's this, Rudolph? You didn't tell Kirie-san about it. Dick, sorry. I wasn't really hiding it. Actually, it was kinda... It's alright. If you decided this wasn't something you needed to tell me about, I won't press you about it right here. What's more important is finding out what this golden witch is after, right? Yeah. Now that you know what we know, can you see how this enemy might come at us? He's like... A woman should be seen, not heard. Except when I can't figure shit out. Then, like, you better break out that strategist brain of yours. Rudolph had a certain measure of trust in Kirie's unique thinking technique. Chessboard thinking. Oh, is it time to start spinning the chessboard around? Get it ready, everyone. You know the rule. Every time they spin the chessboard around, we gotta put $1 in our savings account. Of course, it didn't give him any more peace of mind than fortune-telling. But every time Rudolph was polishing up some important strategy, he'd give a great deal of thought to Kirie's advice. For a while, Kirie pressed her fingers against her forehead, considering. Judging by the fact that her arrival was kept hidden until today. She must be planning to catch us by surprise in some way. We can't tell for sure whether she's after our assets or being recognized as a relative. However, her coming was kept secret until today. Which probably means he did want us to take any measures against her. Something we might have done if we'd known beforehand. So, her goal is probably something that could be hindered if we were to take measures against her. Understand? No. I get it. So, if she had a will that Father had already written or something that could prove she's a blood relative. If she has some unshakable, rock-solid proof like that, you think she'd announced it. She'd announce it beforehand. That's right. On the contrary, since we're in a position to doubt her, she should have brought a lawyer or an expert and thrust some completely undeniable proof before us, if she could. So the mere fact she's launching a surprise attack shows that our foe can't win with a frontal assault. Makes sense. Makes sense. If a trump card can win no matter what, it's best to play it out in the open. If you play it in a roundabout way, it might end up weakening its impact. Skipping to the conclusion, we can probably expect to be faced with some huge surprise. Something related either directly or indirectly to the inheritance problem that's on everyone's minds. Our opponent probably plans to overawe us simply by the impact of this shock. However, no matter how great the impact might be, it cannot be absolute. In other words, we have enough leeway to take advantage of this. Ah, you really got brains. Even understanding just this much is really reassuring. In other words, you're telling us to not get sucked into our opponent's pace. In the end, it's an extremely simple conclusion. No matter what our opponent brings up, we should deal with it. Deal with it calmly, without rushing things. That's just the very first step in the art of negotiation. You really can't say you've predicted your opponent's thoughts with just this. Come on. Just like usual, that was pretty good. Now that we've got a little leeway to attack, it helps us relax a bit. What we don't know is how she's connected to Kraus Nissan. Will it be a surprise for Kraus Nissan too? Or was he actually the one who called her here in the first place? If it's the latter, that might make things very troublesome. That's right. Secretly calling a mystery woman on the day of the family conference. It would be in terrible taste. But it does feel like something Nissan would do. Aniki, let's do this. As long as she can't clearly prove her identity, we won't accept her position in any way. That would be for the best. Already, she's refused to introduce herself to Kirie-san. We can't let our conference be disturbed by the statements of some unknown woman. So bold. She might even show us proof that she's a blood relative. If she can prove father's blood runs through her veins, like with a maternity record document, there's nothing we can do. It's always possible to suspect that physical evidence has been faked. And even if it's real, in order to prove that the person in the document is the person we see, we need to check their condition at a hospital. It'd be impossible to prove that now on Rokenjima. You're right. No matter what's shown to us now on Rokenjima, it can't be accepted as the truth. We can't believe anything until the typhoon passes and they prove it to us at a proper place. Spotting all kinds of holes and stuff like this is Aneki's specialty. We'll be counting on you. No pressure, huh? Are you joking? He'll be helping too. We need the money. Show me the money. We need it quickly and a large sum. Our fates are all tied together in this. As if we just stand by and let some subtly appearing mystery woman destroy the inheritance we're after. Rudolph and Ava always formed a united front as siblings at times like this. Sickened by the idea of that their own inheritance might be snatched away by some outsider. Kirei noticed how indomitable they looked, shook her head slightly, and gave a small sigh as she gazed out the window. Outside, it was still raining heavily, and everything was gray, having lost all vibrance. The lush garden that the sun had shone on earlier now felt like a lie. For some reason, the words Ava said a second ago kept repeating in Kirie-san's head. Something like this: no matter what's shown to us now on Rokinjima, it can't be accepted as truth. There was an odd nuance to those words. At that moment, the island was closed off by the typhoon and isolated. They had access to no public institutions and no hospital. So on this island, no matter what manner of proof related to the outside world was shown, it would be impossible to call it a lie. It would be impossible to prove that something was the truth. Now that they were isolated, all outside truths lay in the outside world. All truths whose proof lay in the outside world would be called lies. So does that mean that right now on this Rokinjima, no truth exists at all? Does it mean that everything will now be ruled by lies alone? It almost gives the illusion that we've left the world of human truth and have been shut away inside another world. One of lies. Kirie remembered that woman's appearance one more time. She remembered both what she had looked like and the witch of the portrait, which is suddenly it's completely different, which is kind of crazy. On this island, which had been cut off from the world of humans and shut away in the world of non-humans, a non-human being had come to visit. Kirie couldn't think of the smile that had appeared on the woman's face as anything other than a portent of misfortune. I get the feeling my chessboard thinking's missed a vital premise. One that'll be necessary to understand that misfortune-bearing smile. Yes, that smile made me feel as though someone inhuman was mocking me. I'd based my reasoning on the assumption that our opponent is a human like us. However, just like this island is now, she may be a being that isn't human, and human values may not matter to her. If that's true, all of our reasoning is useless. For what reason has the witch been invited here today? Only one thing is certain. Now, in this instant, she's staying somewhere in this vast mansion. So what are you gonna do about it, huh? Maria? Around lunchtime today, we met her outside. Right? A woman. Who was she? I said it over and over. Beatrice. Maria? Did you ever meet Beatrice before that? I've met her every year. Every year? In this mansion on Rokenjima? I don't know what means. Is that true? Yes. How long have you been meeting her? How many years ago did it start? I don't know. You don't know? What do you mean? Was it last year? 2 years ago? Longer than that. Rosa was astonished. Only the Ushinomiya family mansion existed on this island. So there couldn't have been any other humans other than themselves here. And yet, Maria said she'd been meeting with a suspicious woman every year during the family conference. If what Maria said was true, then that strange woman called Beatrice had been at the family conference every year. That's insane. Is Maria saying that eerie woman was at the family conference every year and none of us even noticed it? Surprise! Even though Rosa had just met the woman herself a couple hours ago in the Rose Garden. She was overcome by, she was overcome with a strange sensation that told her to accept that existence. What in the world did I meet with earlier today? As the typhoon grew near and the winds roared. Maria? You said you met with her every year. What do you two do when you meet? We sing songs and learn magic. And I learned how to draw magic circles. Really? That's incredible. Maria, you often draw scribbles, your magic circles in your notebook, right? Did she teach you that too? You know what? Beatrice drew examples to teach me. Come on, look. Maria joyfully fished around in her handbag. Then she drew out a single notebook and began opening to that page. Most of the pages were covered with drawings that were literally scribbles. All of them were occult-like things. And while it might sound rude to Maria, who was joyfully flipping through the pages, they were all creepy. Look, here! Beatrice drew it. Ugh! Each one of the pages in the group Maria had opened to had an eerie magic circle. Furthermore, at a glance, Rosa could see that Maria hadn't drawn them. The strength of the strokes, the thickness of the lines, how clean the shape was. By itself, it wasn't enough to guess the background of the person who had written it. But it was enough for Rosa to be sure that it was someone older than Maria. Rosa had to accept it now. There really was a person on this Rokinjima that she herself hadn't known existed until now. And this person had come to the family conference every year to play with Maria. Maria? Does the witch Beatrice live here? Or does she live outside the island like us? Ugh. Beatrice is the witch of Rokinjima, so she lives on this island. So you're saying she's on the island even on days when it isn't the family conference, right? Oh. I don't know what "ooh" means. Yes or no? Yes. Oh. What in the... Can't believe it. I can't believe it. How long has this unknown witch been living on this island? I used to live on this island. I lived on this island, passing the time in the mansion, in the rose garden. And even so, I never encountered a witch like that. Right? Mama? Mama? What's wrong? Mama? Oh, my head hurts. I was probably getting a little mixed up with my memories from when I was a young girl. When I was young, I was terrified of the witch, unlike Maria. So for me, the name Beatrice was a synonym for terror. Surely my fear from those days has been revived by the appearance of a woman going by that name. She can't be a witch. She's obviously a human calling herself Beatrice. Right? That's right. The witch entrusted me with an envelope. What in the world could that be? Rosa pulled that western envelope out of her pocket. It was one of the envelopes that bore the Ushinomiya family crest, which Kinzo used for his personal letters. And its red sealing wax had been sealed by the head's ring, which Kinzo held. Which meant the envelope belonged to the Ushinomiya family head. In other words, it was from father. Why was a woman calling herself Beatrice holding it, and why did she give it to me? That's right. I'm sure she said to read this aloud at dinner. What in the world could be written inside? A sense of uncertainty gripped Rosa, as if opening this envelope might let loose incredible misfortune. However, at the same time, a little curiosity sprouted up too, urging her to find out what was written inside before the other siblings could. Using common sense, one might guess that it contained a huge decision somehow related to the inheritance. Actually, since she'd received it from a woman who called herself Beatrice, there simply had to be some connection. Does it mean that this person wants not just the 4, but a total of 5 people to be included in the inheritance? I need a large sum of money, and I can't wait long. I feel like such a sinful daughter for discussing father's inheritance while he's still alive. But this is no time to spout off cheap ideals. And I've even colluded with Rudolf Nissan and Eva Nissan in order to get some money out of Kraus Nissan. Coming from that position, I can't help but see the appearance of the witch as a sign of approaching misfortune. What could be written in here? I'm sure it's something frightening. Shall I read it secretly myself first? The witch requested that it be read at the dinner table with everyone gathered. But if that's what she wanted, why couldn't she just read it out loud at dinner herself? Why did she need to go to all the trouble of entrusting it to me? Simply put, is it because she didn't mind if I read it secretly beforehand? It'd be better to secretly read the contents first. I understand that mean breaking my promise. But this is no longer the time for cheap ideals. Depending on the contents, I should probably discuss it with Ava Nason and Rudolph Nason too. They're always really good thinkers when it comes to this kind of thing. When I gulped and put my hands to the red sealing wax, something suddenly pulled on my sleeve and I let out a small scream. What? Maria, don't scare me like that. What is it? Oh, you mustn't. Huh? And Maria's expression was the same portent of misfortune she'd felt from that witch, and it sent a tingle up her spine. Beatrice told Mama to read that letter during dinner. You mustn't break a promise with a witch. That's not it. I just wanted to look at the envelope for a second. I'll keep my promise. After all, I always tell you to keep your promises. Of course I keep my promises. Yes, Mama's a good girl. That laugh. It isn't cute, so stop it. Ugh. Come to think of it, you received a letter too, Maria. What was written inside? I haven't opened it. Beatrice said I mustn't open it until the time to open it comes. So I'm taking good care of it. Ugh. I see. You listen well to what Beatrice says, don't you, Maria? Ugh. I'm Beatrice's disciple, so I listen well to what my teacher says. I see. Rosa realized something. Mixed in with Maria's gaze was the glint of someone that wasn't her. If Rosa broke the rules and opened the envelope here, Beatrice would definitely learn of it, because Maria was the witch's disciple. Maria was in contact with that witch. I'll keep my promise, so tell Beatrice not to worry, okay? Oh, I'll tell her. Hey, Maria, if I wanted to speak to Beatrice, how could I meet with her? I don't know. Beatrice is very fickle, so she always appears suddenly. I don't know a way to get her to meet me. But you know, she's always watching me. So if I get in trouble, she'll definitely come and save me afterwards. She's definitely erased her form and is hiding close to me. Don't I always tell you to stop laughing like that? Rosa reflexively hit Maria on the head. That put a stop to Maria's laughing. But it wasn't able to erase the color that had risen to those eyes, a color that seemed to bear a portent of misfortune. Rosa swore. She swore that at least until they left this island, she would not leave Maria alone. She could not allow an unknown being to make direct contact with her daughter any longer. Dun dun dun! Whoop, just like that, it's dinner time. However, as much as it sucks, I think we're gonna wrap up early. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Unfortunately, since it's so hot, I'm having trouble concentrating, so I think this is a good place to stop. We're only like an hour early. Well, Well, I guess 2 hours depending. Sometimes we go until 5. But yeah. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, Amatis. Alrighty. I'm gonna pop back here. Yeah, unfortunately, for those who weren't here earlier on in the stream, when I was talking about the weather, it is 40 degrees Celsius outside. It is quite warm. So sitting in front of all this technology, I find myself getting more and more distracted, and I'm like, huh, I should probably stop. Way too hot. Way too hot. So I'm like, I should probably go rest and cool down because it's like, what? Absent-mindedness? Isn't that like a symptom of like heat stroke and stuff? So I'm like, just to be safe, I should probably go have some more water and like go sit somewhere cool. Comfy day or nay? Definitely a comfy day despite the heat. It's always fun reading Higurashi. Higurashi? Oh my god, UMINEKO. My brain has left the building. I wish I could go longer, but you know, since it's so hot, I'm like, I'm gonna go relax a bit. We will still be doing our watch-along at 7 p.m. in the Discord. 7 p.m. EST, yeah! We're finishing up Season 1 of Pop Team Epic tonight, if anyone wants to stop by. I mean, it's basically a skit comedy anime, so even though you missed like the first few episodes, you can still pop in. So if you want to come along and watch the chaos, there's the Discord. And let's see who I can throw us to for a raidle. As always, stay amazing, stay cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's see. Not many mutuals are streaming right now, so I'm trying to see if there's anyone random that we want to raid, or like, you know, if anyone has a guide the raid, by all means. Staying cool? Didi doesn't even have to try. Ah, you guys are great. Let's see here. I've got one mutual playing Resident Evil 0. We've never raided them before. I'm just gonna check. I mean, we have raided Amalia recently. Like just 2 days ago. I try not to raid the same people like that often in a week. Because I like to introduce you guys to more a wide variety of people. So I'm gonna send you guys to Mako then. They're playing Resident Evil 0, which is like, you know, infamous for it's like, is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? So let's go check them out. They're another small streamer. Not a raid request, but I remember for people check out games done quick this week. It's Okami right now. You know what? That's a good point. I'll see if they allow raids. Sometimes when it's like a big thing going on. Well, yeah, they're not live right now, I think. Fair enough? Fair enough? Was good to check. Well, it says it's live, but I can't. Hang on. Hang on. I just wanted people to check later for sure. I just want to make sure that I have the right... No? Okay. I can't find that particular channel for whatever reason, so they may even have raids blocked. But here we go. I'll just post this for you guys. There you go. If anyone wants to go check out Games Done Quick, there is the schedule. I was gonna post their actual Twitch channels, but when I looked up, like, I could see the channel, but it wasn't showing up in the raid menu, so I'm like, just in case I'm about to plug the entirely wrong channel for some reason, let's just send the schedule. Alrighty, so yes. As we said, time to go raid Mako. So here is the raid message. Big stretch. Yes, hello, Pep. My poor body pillow has been squashed so much because she's been using it as her bed. It's covered in cat fur now. I'm like, oh man, I need to get the lint roller to it, but there's not much point in doing it when she's still using it. You know how cats are. Eventually, they decide, you know what? I don't like this bed anymore. I'm not gonna touch it for the next 3 years. So I'll get my body pillow back eventually. It's a question of when, though. Alrighty. That's gonna be it from me. I will see you guys later for Pop Team Epic. Time to go drink some water. Maybe have a nice shower. Alrighty, folks. That is gonna be it for me. So, if it's daytime where you are, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if it's nighttime, have a great rest when you head on off to bed. Until next time, take care of yourself. Wash your face, brush your teeth, eat a good food. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Bye-bye!